Ladies and gentlemen, in today's versus video, it's finally here, Resident Evil Requiem, and we're going to look at it on the Legion Go 2 versus the Steam Deck OLED. These were the two most requested devices. We have lots of Resident Evil videos on the channel, lots of different versus videos coming up. Switch 2, Legion Go S, Steam Deck, all of them we're going to be covered here. So if you're not subscribed, please do that. Like the video, drop a comment down below. And, hey, if you don't want to do any of that stuff, one thing that you could do that would really help the channel out, if these kind of videos are helpful to you, is just watch the entire video. It would be super appreciated. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Okay, so as always, we start with the settings here. Legion Go 2 is running in its performance mode. I do have it set to 800p, and I do have it set to 144 FPS. Steam Deck OLED is set to go all the way to 90 FPS. And of course, it is an 800p display as well. And on the settings for the Legion Go 2, we did pretty much max settings. I did tweak a couple settings here and there, like maybe turned off motion blur. I also turned off, I think, chromatic aberration. Did the same thing on the Steam Deck. Those are just personal choices. Steam Deck's running mostly at normal settings, but if you want to see any specific setting all the way through, we do have frame gen going on both of these. And I'll kind of explain my thought process of why I chose these settings as we get going here. So if you want to see anything specific, you can just scroll back there, scrub it, pause it, and see everything in there. And so this game is really kind of interesting because you have basically two main characters here, and it kind of goes back and forth. You know, obviously we have Grace here is where you're going to start the game, and then it will shift to Leon, and then you kind of go back and forth between the two. Now, the interesting part about that is it's, in Grace's part of the game, it's in first person, and of course you can change it. It does let you do whatever you want. But in Grace's part of the game, it is in first person. Leon's part of the game is in third person. And in Grace's part of the game, it's more of like the, Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 7 kind of style of a gameplay. And then in your Leon sections, it's more of like your Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil Village style, more action gameplay. And so for these settings, like you can see here in this little main street, this is a pretty demanding area here. And you can see the Steam Deck is struggling to, stay above 60 FPS with that frame gen on. Legion Go is kind of, bouncing all over the place, 70, 80, 85. This is a pretty demanding little opening scene here. And so this is where I was kind of, messing with the settings to try to get, close to 60 in this area here. So that way, once we get into Grace's, like, kind of, house type interior areas, and then once we shift over into the Leon areas, the frame rate will still be, kind of good enough. Maybe it'll be in that 50 to 60, FPS range for the, the Steam Deck, and maybe a little bit higher on the Legion Go. So you really have some different settings you want to play with. So if you don't like frame interpolation, you don't have to use it. I did. I thought that it played great on both of these devices. You can certainly turn that off if you want to. You can adjust settings down. So you've really got a lot of room to kind of, do whatever you want. One big difference between these two is that the hair, you do have the option of like the individual hair strands. I forget what it's called in the settings. That is turned on for the Legion Go 2, but is turned off on the Steam Deck OLED. So that is just something to keep in mind there. Now, we're going to get into this first little kind of interior area here. And I'm going to tell you, there's not going to be any spoilers in this video. I cut out all of the bigger cutscenes. So you did just have a little bit of a cutscene here. And there'll be little interstitial cutscenes in here as well, but just not like, maybe opening a door or whatever, something like that. But, as far as like the big story beats, I did cut those out. So we're mainly going to focus on the kind of little beginning kind of tutorial area here with Grace. And then we'll do a quick Leon section at the end of the video. So that way you can kind of see, both parts of it. And Resident Evil games, I think they always do kind of a good job of, sort of introducing players into the game. And, with this game, it's like, here's a nice short little contained area that, it kind of, you just get those vibes right away. It's like, it's like kind of comfort food, which is kind of funny for like a survival horror, but kind of throws you immediately into the horror of the environment here. And it's kind of interesting, Grace is kind of like real kind of timid, kind of, kind of scared, to go in here, and it was kind of, doesn't really seems like she wants to be there, so it's pretty interesting. And then of course we know Leon, he's just a total badass, which you'll see at the end of the video. Just FYI too, I did pause a couple of times to kind of sync up those short interstitial video here, the cutscene. Excuse me, I can't even talk. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I've been up forever, guys. So trying to get this video out there for you guys. The second video, I already did a marathon video earlier today. So hey, if you get a chance once this video is over, if you would watch that one, I would certainly appreciate it. Working overtime here for you guys, trying to get these videos out here. So that way we just lined up these cutscenes here. And then that way, like, the gameplay kind of resyncs back up, so it kind of stays a little bit closer together. Try to do that the best I can here. And you can kind of see even in the, so you can see the difference between the hair strands here on the Legion Go 2 versus the Steam Deck OLED. I think it still looks good on the Steam Deck OLED too. But on the Legion Go 2, yeah, definitely nicer with those hair strands on, which you can do with the little bit of extra power. And of course, too, on the Legion Go 2, if you want to get better battery life, you can go down to the balance mode, and then you can adjust your settings accordingly. Really however you want to play. This game is very well optimized in terms of, basically being able to give you a wide range of however you want to play with your settings, both in the Legion settings for the Legion Go 2 and also for the in-game settings. Same thing on the Steam Deck OLED as well. So it's really awesome that, like, a AAA brand new game on launch day is running so good on all of these devices. It's really kind of like a breath of fresh air. I'm so stoked to get the Switch 2 version in. I ordered it from Best Buy. Is it here yet? Nope. So it was supposed to be the first video, but oh well, we'll get it maybe tomorrow, maybe this weekend. So those videos will come out when they come out. So probably over the next few days into next week, we'll have all of these different Resident Evil versus videos. So again, here another little cutscene. Again, it's just like small little cutscenes. Nothing too major, nothing too spoilery. Also, if you are curious too, I did split the audio. Half the video is the Legion Go, the other half of the video is the Steam Deck. If you want to hear the difference in volume, I think both of them do a really good job. Of course, Steam Deck is front-firing speakers versus the Legion Go's are, top, come out of the top. So there's a little bit of a difference there, but I think both are great. Did put the stats up on screen for you guys too. I know you guys like to see those stats running. And so we're checking out the bathroom. You got to check out the bathroom and toilet, right? You got to see what's in the toilet. And when you open the toilet lid, there's like an X in there. It's like, oh my God, is she going to pull out the key from there? Of course, in the video, you saw me already grab the key because I kind of ran through this area, like I played it beforehand just so I could get an idea of like what I needed to do. So that way you guys aren't watching me like run around trying to figure stuff out, because in these Resident Evil games, I am kind of an idiot sometimes trying to find, like, where's this stupid key at, and I, like, looked all over everywhere, and it's like, it's just sitting on the, right by the door. So stupid. So anyway, I kind of figured everything out, and then I ran through it a little bit quicker. So you can definitely expect if, when you're playing a Resident Evil game, you're going to have to, figure all of that kind of stuff out. So this segment is really much shorter than what you probably are going to experience when you play it. So, of course, if you're paying attention, you already kind of know what to do. But, yeah, it's kind of the fun of these games. I love kind of methodically going through, each, like, room to room, going through all the drawers. I will say I was, like, a little bit disappointed that there's not more. Like, there's just a lot of drawers that you can't open and a lot of, like, cabinets that you can't open. And, I don't know, I guess maybe I've been playing some other games that you can just, like, open a lot more stuff, so... But it is what it is. I mean, it's not that big a deal, really, I guess. And, maybe there's more of that later in the game. I don't know. But I definitely like to be able to, like, if there's a cabinet, like, I feel like I should be able to open a cabinet in games like this where you're looking for different items and stuff like that. Small little complaint. Not a big deal, really. But I'd say the game looks really good. I'm actually super interested because the Steam version is... going to be on GeForce Now, so I'm really interested to kind of check out the GeForce Now and just crank everything up, including like ray tracing and path tracing. I would really love to see what that looks like on the Legion Go 2. or even on my big TV. So maybe we'll do a video about that. Hey, if you want to see the GeForce Now version running on any handheld, let me know, and maybe we can make a video with that. Or maybe we'll do GeForce Now and just run through how it looks on all the devices if you're interested. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comments down below. What do you guys think about this so far? Are you planning on picking it up? Are you watching this video to try to determine if you should pick it up on, say, Steam Deck, or what it's going to run like on the Legion Go 2? Here again, we paused the top one. We're about to get into the Leon section here in just a minute. So I didn't want that cutscene to run in there because it is a pretty heavy-duty little segment here. So I just cut that out. And we're going to go ahead and move into Leon's part of the game here. And so, like I said, he's in third person for his, and it's just much more action heavy. So this is kind of like his little tutorial area, which is kind of like an outdoor city area. Kind of remind me a little bit of like Resident Evil 3, where you're like, a lot of the action is like in the street area. Well, not all of it in Resident Evil 3, but that's a part of Resident Evil 3 that does stand out to me, is like running through the streets. And yeah, super gory scene there. Lovely, absolutely lovely. And here you can see me miss a couple of shots here, and so I had to do it again on the Steam Deck. I was like, I'll let it come get me so we can go through the whole sequence here. But so Leon's sequence is pretty cool, and we're gonna kind of oh, that's absolutely brutal. And I've definitely liked that he gets here in just a second. He's going to pull out the Requiem, and that gun is absolutely badass. Kind of reminded me of like RoboCop's gun, like pull that thing out and just blow people to hell, But so you can also see too that the frame rates are much lower in here. We've actually dropped into the 40s and slight dips even into the 30s on the Steam Deck. And the Legion Go 2 is dropped down to around 60. So that's kind of where I talked about. I tried to optimize for like having 60 as like the lowest common denominator for the Legion Go 2, and then for the Steam Deck, sort of trying to keep it as good as possible, or what I felt would still be acceptable. Because you can see throughout the rest of the sequence here too, the Steam Deck OLED is still in the 50s, which I think is totally fine. But it's really up to you and how you want to do it. But you're going to be bouncing back and forth between these different types of gameplay, and the FPS just varies wildly between the two. So it's kind of like a pick your poison type of deal. I figured optimize for this area to be like, still a good FPS, and then just let that FPS just fly in the other like slower paced indoor grace areas. So, hey, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, you listened to the beginning of the video and watched it all the way, so I super appreciate that. Again, if you're not subscribed, I would definitely appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, if you hit that like button, if you leave a comment. All of those things are really huge things that help the channel, especially watching the entire video. I can't really tell you how much that helps videos. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you guys so much. Again, lots more Resident Evil videos to come. The Legion Go S, the Switch 2. I've got the Legion Go 1. We could do a streaming with the PlayStation Portal, GeForce Now, all of it. And hey, we'll see you in that next one.